Hey everybody, this is Mike Jones, and right here I'm sitting with the one and only Mr. Kurt Carr for an interview for you guys. Kurt, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, Mr. Jones. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine as well.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, man. I've been doing radio since 7 o'clock this morning, and we're going to all these places, and we got turned around because there's traffic, so we had to make a detour, so we had to make you wait a little bit. Sorry about that.
No problem, I do not mind. We did talk about this over the weekend at the Stellar Awards, but you were the recipient of this year's James Cleveland Award. How does that make you feel?
Lifetime Achievement Award. It made me feel very, very humbled because James Cleveland was the man that gave me my start. I was his piano player for 6 years until he passed away. Traveled all over the world with him and never dreamed that I would be anything more than a piano player. And so to be awarded that Lifetime Achievement Award was great, but for it to be in the honor of James Cleveland was even more of a special moment for me.
Yeah,
one of my great moments of my life.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that. Was that one of the most memorable moments of your career?
Definitely. He would have been so proud. And he and his daughter were my family in LA because I didn't really know anyone else when I moved there. I moved there to play for him. So his daughter and I are still very close, and we tweeted through the whole thing. She couldn't be there, but we tweeted through the whole award ceremony. Everything was great.
Was she excited to hear that
She said, finally, somebody who really deserves it. Those are her exact words. Because a lot of times when you get an award in honor of someone, people don't even know them. But I knew him, and he gave me my chance, and he gave me the platform. He wasn't the kind of person that would just, he couldn't give me a career, but he gave me a platform. I had to do the work, but God used him to give me the platform.
Amen. Now, the reason that we are here today is to talk about your album, Bless This House, which was released on Tuesday, and the internet is screaming about this CD. Everyone loves it, and I even read one comment where someone said, I love Kurt Carr's CD, and it's especially good to listen to an album where you don't have to question if you're listening to gospel music.
And you know what's amazing, man? It's probably somebody young.
It was.
Young people, there's a lot of young people, thank you, who really, they're not feeling the whole hip-hop movement, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love all kinds of music, but give people a variety, a chance to like what they like. Right. Some people like Coke, and some people like Pepsi. Right. So give them an option. So I thank God for that. The greatest guy was, this guy was like, it's the CD of the millennium. I was like, now that might be a little extreme, sir. The millennium, that would include Thriller. Come on now. Right. Come on now. Come on now.
Yes.
But it's flattering and it's humbling to know that my supporters like what I'm doing.
So let's talk about the title, Bless This House. Yeah. Where did that come from?
The crazy thing is, I was going to title the album because I wanted to do, the last few albums I did, I stretched a lot. Because I have a degree in music. I've studied, I can do any kind of music. Any kind of music, that's my gifting. I can polka, I could probably do a polka song. Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom. If polka for Jesus, but, that would be a mess. I might try it.
Polka for Jesus.
I might try it. I can see Ty Tribbett doing something crazy like that and making it work. But music is my gift, so I was thinking of naming the project Minister of Music, because that's what I am. People say I'm a preacher, but I am a preacher, but through song. And so for a year, I just knew that the title was going to be Minister of Music, and we went in LA about a year ago, and we were getting ready to start recording that day, and I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just heard Bless This House. I was like, wow, that would be a great title. And I tried to go back to sleep, and I couldn't. I just bought this thing called a Zoom, which is that's a high-tech digital recording device, and I just bought it. And man, that thing paid for itself, because I sung I just started getting the melody to the song, and I said, you know what, this is the title. It ties everything together. So it was one of those things. I've done it the week of the recording before, but never the day of the recording. And I taught the song to the group in the studio at noon, and we worshiped God for like an hour in there over that song. I think it's going to be one of those, like almost an anthem in every church. That we need to bless each other, because that's one of the things that really hurts me, is that we tear each other down so much. We're supposed to uplift each other, because we all go through when you live life, you have to go through. And believers, instead of tearing each other down, even if we have differences, we should still bless other people.
Sounds like God was the one who named this album as He spoke to you in your sleep. And said, Kurt, we're going to name
I
this
have this
Bless
running
House.
joke with my musicians and my singers because I've written so many songs and I just have that gift. And I used to didn't think I could write songs.
Really?
But it just came out of nowhere. And once I start writing, they just keep flowing. And then I'll stop. I won't write anything for 2 or 3 years. Usually I've been writing for 2 years for this record, but before that, I was just chilling, doing my thing. I don't really think about writing all the time. But they have an ongoing joke that I have elves that live in my attic. They write the songs, and then they sit them down the attic, and like one of my musicians went up there with a flashlight looking. They be like, I think I hear feet running around in the attic, but you know, it's just a gift from God. I can't take the credit for it. He does it.
Yeah.
Because how could I write a song that could touch somebody in Florida and in China? Only God could do that. I mean, it touched people they're all different walks of life, different places, and you know, only God could
young,
do that.
black,
Old,
white,
young.
everything.
From Sanctuary, that's a real youth-driven song. Then I have urban song. I got some urban song. This song called "It's a Good Day," which I think is probably gonna end up being like, you know, on urban radio. And then I have people like songs like "Almost Let Go" and "Every Mountain" that people's grandmothers want to hear.
So you wrote every song that's on the album?
Yeah.
Well, producer-wise, you know, and collaborations, who else is featured on the CD?
You know, it's amazing. I usually don't do collaborations because I have such I don't have other artists on because my singers are artists themselves, and I'm trying to brand them as artists, and that's happening. They're doing their own things now, and I'm really proud of it. And many people have come through the Kurt Carr camp. Smokey was in my group. Sherry Jones was in my group. Dwayne Woods was in my group. Sean worked with me. Mary was actually in my group.
Really?
They were on the For Every Mountain album. And so with regard to collaborations, but this time I put Judy McAllister's on it. She's a praise and worship leader. She's doing the opening song. And Kathy Taylor, who's a great traditional singer. Those are the two that I use this time.
You have a favorite song on the album?
It's hard. It's like everyone asks me that. It's like saying, "Who's your favorite child?"
I know everyone hates that question.
I lived through all of them, but I really like I've seen him do it because it's the theme of my life. It's not just a song. It's becoming the theme of. It's the theme of my life. In that the awards that I've been given. The platform that God is presenting for me to do some really major things and some other things in the works that I can't discuss right now, but I've just seen him do it, man. And I had gotten to the point where I didn't think it was going to happen for me. I thought, you know, I'm just comfortable doing what you want me to do, and maybe some of those things I wanted to do wasn't your will, but it's coming to pass.
And of course, the Kurt Carr singers are on the album. For those who don't know, would you mind sharing the names of the members in the group now?
Kurt Carr singers. You know, it's amazing. This is the first album I've done with the same group. The first album I've ever done with the same group as the album before. So Yvette Williams, Michelle Prather, Troy Bright, Timothy Figueroa, Nikki Potts, Nikita Clegg, and Vonnie Lopez. And they're all unbelievable. The best.
Do you have a process for how you select the members of the Kurt Carr?
You know, I let God do it. I used to select, and I selected some devils. You know, when you look at how someone looks, or even if they're gifting, but if their heart, you know, it's amazing. We were talking the other day. One of them has been with me 20 years. Most of them have been with me for a long time, and that only happens when there's chemistry. I've seen groups do one album and split up. It's hard to keep a group together, man. Especially with a group of talented people. But we have a mindset, you know, we have the same mindset. They know that I respect them. I respect them enough to not hold them back.
Right.
You know, people used to say, "Oh yeah, Kurt, you get in his group and you'll never be an artist or whatever." But it's like I'm confident in what God has called me to do. And one of the things He's called me to do is to cultivate others. My gift as a producer and an arranger, that's what I do. I make them challenge themselves and even test the limits of their potential. So I'm free in that and comfortable in that enough that I let them go and let them do other things, and they always find their way back home.
As someone who inspires so many singers and people in this industry, who is someone that inspires you?
Walter Hawkins. Okay. Most of the people that inspired me are gone on, and that's a phenomenal thing because now people look to me, you know, and I'll hear songs like it just sounds like me. It sounds like they, you know, are influenced by me. It's phenomenal. I can't believe it, but Walter Hawkins was an early influence. Richard Smallwood. I'm a big jazz head. I love jazz music. Ella Fitzgerald's my favorite singer in the world. So I have a very eclectic taste musically. So I've been influenced by a lot of people.
When one of your fans purchases this album and put it in their CD player, what is the message that you want them to get from that album? Or what is it that you want to say to the people through your music with this project?
Well, with this project, I believe that my main calling is people like Kirk Franklin and Mary, they're evangelists. Their music reaches the world and a lot of unchurched people. And I was telling Erica and Tina, my music is the music that is preserving the church for the people that they reach. And that's what I want people to, and Erica and Tina, we were talking and they were saying how my music is it's church music, but it's relevant. I try to keep it current, the sounds. It doesn't sound like a 1950s caravans. Even though it's traditional, I've kept that foundation, but I try to make it relevant and current. So I pray that as people listen, that they will be blessed. Everyone's not going to receive a blessing from the song that the other person is going to receive. So I try to have a whole range of music on there so everyone can get the message that they need to receive.
That's definitely how you stay on top in this industry.
You got to stay relevant.
Yes, relevant. Of course, you don't want to be dated or...
But I also don't want to try to be Kirk Franklin either.
Right.
You know, because that, I think one of the failures of a lot of artists, I know some really great people, but they're a mirror image of someone else. When I first started, I was a mirror image of Richard Smallwood. Unfortunately, it wasn't that I was so much copying him. I have a classical background. That's how I started. I, studied music, and when you study music, you study classical music. So those influences were in my music, but everyone saw me as, they should call me Richard Jr. I used to hate that. It's like, but now it's like I finally found my place, and so that's important.
Yeah, definitely. And also now you're the person that people are mirroring or trying to sound like,
we call them biters.
Like
I told my musicians, it was one song, it sounded so much like me, they told me my arm was amputated.
What brings you to the beautiful city of Philadelphia? Are you performing?
Well, we're here doing a promotional tour. I'm doing like 10 cities, and they wanted me to just play the songs, but black people, when they come, they want to hear you sing. So play a couple songs, talk about my life, talk about the process of writing the songs and developing the album, and then we're going to sing.
Awesome. And you're doing this today or tomorrow? Tonight? Okay.
At Sharon Baptist.
Awesome. So what can we expect next from Mr. Kurt Carr? Any appearances?
Lots of appearances. I have been working on this album for 2 years, and in addition to this album, I did Shirley Caesar at the same time. Because of her schedule, it just all collided. So I literally would be working in 2 or 4 studios at one time in a day. I would go from this studio to the next, to this and that. So I mean, I really need a break. But with creatively, I have some things on the table, which reminded me of that. A really big project I've been asked to produce, but sometimes you have to just sit back and clear your mind, because I never want to make the same album. Everyone is like, I need another For Every Mountain. That won't happen again. I'm not going to try to recreate that. God did it. I didn't do that. So, I tried to do my best with this, and literally, wore us all out. For 2 years, we've been working on this album. So, we're going to take a break creatively for a minute, but touring now and supporting the record. It's like I change hats. Being an artist that's a producer and a producer that's an artist. One of the greatest compliments I got online, somebody was saying that a lot of times if a producer's an artist, they'll miss it as a producer, but be a great artist, or be a great artist and miss it as a producer.
Right.
But I was one of those that could do both. You know, like I know how to put people in their element.
Right.
And so that's what now I got to switch hats and be the artist for maybe about a year or so.
If you had to choose, which do you favor more? You favor during the producer hat or the artist side?
Well, that's a hard question. I prefer the artist side because I'm so spontaneous. I love being on stage. I create, like, I don't know if you know, but there's a song I have called "Let's Set the Atmosphere" that every praise dance team in the world has done. It's like us talk singing. It happened on stage. We never rehearsed it. I didn't sit down and write it. It just happened on stage one day. And so that's my niche. My creative juices flow when I'm being spontaneous. Being a producer is more confining. Like, you have to be in the studio. You can't. I don't really like the studio, believe it or not. Because it's like when I'm in there, I mean, there's times where I've been in the studio for 3 days and didn't see the light of day. Only to go in the bathroom and wash a little bit.
Well, at least you did.
Yeah.
How can your fans and supporters stay in contact with you?
Well, I love your support, and I'm at Twitter and Facebook as the Kurt Carr. And I'm not so into Instagram yet. I'm a very private person. I've always been since I was a kid. I used to. My mother would be looking for me, and I'd be hiding in the closet, just like in there by myself. I've always been a very reclusive loner. But you know, when you do ministry, you can't do that.
Right. Hey everyone, this is the one and only Kurt Carr, and I, Mike Jones, with uGospel.com.
The one and only Mike Jones.
No, actually, it's about
100 million Mike Jones.
Right. All right, Kurt, again, I want to thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right.